Wake up. I know you must have some questions right now. My name is Dr. Jonathan Crane. Well, I'm sure you've never heard of me. I used to be a psychology professor for a little bit before I was fired for actions unbefitting a person of my positions. What they told me. Detective, you've been poking around, trying to figure out a string of unexplainable deaths in this city. And it seems you've actually stumbled upon something that you shouldn't have. And because of that, here you are. Time for a story. For most of my life, I was ridiculed. Picked on because I never seemed to fit in. Abandoned by my own parents. My grandmother took me in. She was no better. She lived on a farm and had a serious crow problem. She developed a chemical that would make the crows go crazy with fear. And when I was young, she told me to dress as a scarecrow covered in that stuff to get rid of the crows or I'd be out on the street. I was just a kid, so I did what I had to do. But the crows, they actually targeted me. They tried to kill the thing that they feared. Eventually, I found the recipe for the chemical that Grandma made, and spent a couple years perfecting and testing it. You know, I actually found a way to make it affect people. And one night, I had enough. I used my version on her, and she screamed in terror until she died of fright. You know, since then, I've made the chemical stronger. You know, my fear toxin brings out a person's worst fears, and I've been using it on people that have wronged me all over this city, right before I kill them. The last thing that they, and unfortunately you, get to see is the Scarecrow. Run.
He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the wind and the rain in his hands. He's got the wind and the rain in his hands. He's got the wind and the rain in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got you and me, brother,